Over 2,300 years ago, Aristotle said that a first principle is the first basis from which a thing is known, and that pursuing first principles is the key to doing any sort of systemic inquiry. Now no one embodies the philosophy of first principles thinking more effectively than entrepreneur Elon Musk.
Well, I do think there's a good framework for thinking. It is physics, the sort of first principles reasoning. But generally, I think what I mean by that is boil things down to their fundamental truths and reason up from there, as opposed to reasoning by analogy. Through most of our life, we get through life by reasoning by analogy, which essentially means kind of copying what other people do with slight variations.
In his interview with Rose, Musk provided an example.
But people did say that. And for batteries, they would say, oh, it's going to cost, historically it's cost $600 per kilowatt hour. And so it's not going to be much better than that in the future. And you say, no, okay, well, what are the batteries made of? So first principles would be to say, okay, what are the material constituents of the batteries? What is the spot market value of the material constituents? So you can say, okay, it's got cobalt, nickel, aluminum, carbon, and some polymers for separation, and a steel can. So break that down on a material basis and say, okay, what if we bought that on the London Metal Exchange, what would each of those things cost? Like, oh, geez, it's like $80 per kilowatt hour. So clearly, you just need to think of clever ways to take those materials and combine them into the shape of a battery cell, and you can have batteries that are much, much cheaper than anyone realizes.
Tesla's body structure also conforms to first principles. The battery is laid flat on the chassis of the vehicle, and the motor is located between the two wheels. The lower center of gravity and the flat chassis reduce the risk of rollover and make the driving experience more stable. There is no traditional rotating shaft, which makes the rear space larger and more comfortable. The front trunk of the car increases storage while ensuring the safety of the people in the car. This is first principles. First principles thinking is a powerful way to help you break out of this herd mentality, think outside the box, and innovate completely brand new solutions to familiar problems.